Hi, I'm David from Levika Photography, and today we'll be talking about the new Metz 52 AF-1 flash for the Sony ISO hot shoe or multi-terminal hot shoe, depending upon what you want to call it. And you know, this is a lot different than the Metz that I'm used to. Metz has been around for a long time, and for a while they made flashes better than Nikon and Canon, and that was when Nikon and Canon were putting out, you know, some of their new TTL stuff. Metz was doing it better. And I've had several Metz in the past and have really liked them. Durability-wise, they've always held up. But one thing I wanted to tell you guys about was the actual design of the flash. Very sleek, slopes back, sync folds up nicely. The guide number is 52, and it's the same size roughly as a Yongnuo. 563, and you'll notice the front of it is a little different. The Metz right here, you can definitely see into it because it doesn't have as much diffusion as the Yongnuo. That helps them achieve a higher guide number, but it also hurts, and I'll show you guys why. But realistically, let's just go over the flash really quick. The head has full movement the way that it should, the way you expect it to. It has the wide flash adapter. It also has, behind the dasher, the bounce card, and then it has the new touch screen. You see that right there? I'll go over this in a second. I am not a fan of the touch screen, but realistically, you know, on the Nissan flash, the i40, which has a guide number of 40, it was a smaller, more compact flash, and it came with a rack card for instructions. It was manual, so Nissan expects you to know how to use a flash the way that you want it to. With Metz, a little different. You receive this manual. Yeah, that's right. This whole thing is not the manual. It's literally the manual in like 7 different languages. But in the middle here, you have, right here, 44 pages of instructions in English on how to use this flash. So is it a little complicated? Not necessarily, but they sure make it look that way. But anyway, design-wise, one thing I wish the Nissan did that Metz does is has the screw lock design. This design I prefer over Nissan's little pop-on lock design. And this is also the same design that the Sony flashes have as well, and I like that. The battery door on this is very solid, so you don't have to worry about battery doors breaking if you drop them. On the Yongnuos, yeah, I've broken a couple, you know, and I have one somewhere that's held together by rubber bands. That's not uncommon. Same with, you know, my SB800s and a couple other flashes I have lying around. All seem to have rubber bands holding the doors against each other. This one will probably never do that. A very durable design, I believe. Very clean, as I said, but let's see what this thing actually does. What I'll do is I'll go through the menu really quick so you guys can get an idea of exactly how it works and what I like and don't like about it. Okay, issue number 1. Here's the camera and here's the flash. Now, right now I have it on TTL, but you can't actually see it because it keeps hiding from me. So let me pop this back on so we can actually see what we're doing. Now this menu system is very weird. So if we go back to the intro, we can go to TTL. I really want to click like that, but I can't. I can click up here on TTL and get back to the menu and then select what I want. So in this case, we'll do high-speed sync. But if I want to go back and actually change that mode, I can't just click on the next one. I literally have to use the arrows, and that's really annoying. But now that we have it on high-speed sync, does it actually do what we want it to? Well, if we pull up the camera here, we can crank it up, look at that, up to 640, and yes, high-speed sync is on. This is great, but there's issues. So again, if I come back to the flash here and I turn the head, guess what happens? We lose high-speed sync. Yes, that's right. This is just like the Sony. where it will only allow you to do high-speed sync forward and will not allow you to bounce. To me, that is a huge bummer. Okay, so let's go back to the menu system here. Video light. This is what they consider to be a focusing light, and all it is a multi-flash going off, creating your focusing light. There is no video LED on this flash. Okay, so with that being said, you have normal functions, and let me go back to the menu here. And under this, we've got manual high-speed sync, and then we have master, and then we have slave, and then we have servo. Now, I'm not going to go into master, slave, and servo because those are all wireless settings, and you need 2 flashes to do that. I only have the 1. But for right now, we can play with manual, TTL, high-speed sync, and regular TTL. Those are really the only options that you have on this flash, which I actually kind of find disappointing. I really want to see a multi-mode, and we don't have that with this flash. If we go through the actual speeds, it goes all the way down. And let me get down here to, and we'll go all the way down to the bottom, 1/28th of a second. So, you know, it does what a normal flash would do, or what you'd expect it to do. Okay, so let me go back up to normal speed here. Something to play with. Okay, so let's go to 1/16. And we are at 1/16. You have an info button that tells you that we have a modeling light on, and that's this button right here. If we turn the modeling light off, then it's just a test flash. Okay, so the info button also tells us our heat indicator and how long we have before it falls asleep, which is fine. And we can change, well, I thought we could change the parameter there, but I guess we can't. Okay, so anyway, let me come back around. Okay, so it's missing the multi-mode. And multi is what I actually like to shoot with quite a bit. I like to shoot 3 or 4 flashes in one long exposure, and it creates a very unique image. So, you know, with the fact that this doesn't bounce on high-speed sync, although we can trick it to kind of get around it by doing a little bit of a turn before it shuts off high-speed sync, we can go that far right there. So that's like 10 degrees off the center that we can point that way. And we can also go up, let me see here, how far can we go on high-speed sync? It's there. That's as far as we can actually move the head up before we get out of high-speed sync. So not a lot of room for movement, which to me means not a lot of room for creativity, because I like to bounce into other flashes. Now, we talked before, I use the Young Nows on S1, and these give me full power, full output when this is on high-speed sync, all the way up to 4,000th of a second, and I can dramatically light my subject the way that I want to. Unfortunately, this flash won't really let me point it at this flash. If I have it over here, I can't aim it that way. So, you know, we're back to that same problem. But anyway, let's go over here and try it out and go through a couple of different images. Look, it's our favorite model, Happy Robot Baby. He's so happy to model for us today. And he's also happy to simulate you. I really wish I could see what I'm doing on this flash. You have to hit the menu screen to get it to illuminate. All right, so we got it on manual high-speed sync, and we've got it zoomed at 105 millimeter. So let's go ahead and see what the picture quality looks like. We'll boot up the camera really quick. And we're at 500th of a second. And, ooh, that doesn't look good. I think we need to go inside and analyze some of these. But really quick, let's go back to the menu here. And we'll try this on TTL. Okay, and right now we've got our zoom head on manual, so let's go in and change that, and we'll switch this over to zoom, leave that at 0. I always want to touch the thing that I want to get to, but instead you have to use these arrow keys, which is very annoying. Now we're at 105 millimeter. Now we're using our 30 millimeter lens. So let's go ahead and park this at auto zoom, and let's try the same image again. All right, so up here, auto zoom, nice tilt. All right, and that's more of the quality of light that we expect, but that's because we're on auto zoom, and you know, there's some issues. So let's go inside and look at this and see how bad this actually is. Okay, so the first thing we want to look at is the actual quality of light that we're getting. Now this is on auto zoom, and it seems to be very even throughout the entire image. And this is just a muslin cloth, and this is just shot straight on. But there's issues with this flash. Okay, so if we go to the next screen, this is on manual zoom, and this is zoomed in at 70 millimeter, and on our 45 millimeter equivalent lens, and you can see we've got some serious issues here, right here, right here, right here, and of course all through the middle. You can see it. There's a big white band where the flash is brighter right here, and then you see the bars. Now what I was telling you guys earlier was the quality of the diffuser on the front, because it's clear to bring up the guide number. This is the actual issue that it's causing when you're on manual zoom. Now if you're on auto zoom, it's going to be fine, but that's only forward. Okay, so let's go in and look at some of these images. So this is auto TTL, auto zoom, very even, clean light. You know, nothing wrong with this at all. Here's high speed sync, and this one I believe was shot at 800th of a second. And again, we have the same problem with this weird distortion of the flashes and vignetting at the bottom. There is some light vignetting at the top, but you know, if we were zoomed in, we should have an even oval vignetting all the way around. And you do get that on the Yongnuo flashes. So this causes a problem if you're not using it on auto zoom. Okay, let me see here. Sorry, I had to drink a little bit of coffee. Okay, so again, the same issue. Well, you see the bars from the actual flash head, and it's brighter in the middle and bad vignetting. We're starting to get used to this. Okay, so now here's the problem. I just wanted to see how bad this was. So I turned the bounce head, and I left it on auto. Okay, but I turned the bounce head 45 degrees. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. I put the bounce head, the zoom head, sorry. I put the zoom head at 45 degrees, and I put the zoom head itself on 30 millimeter, which was about the same as the auto zoom. And then I turned it, you know, 45 degrees on the top, and this is what we got. So we got this crazy bar again. Now you can really see it. And look at the distortions past that bar. So we got this really bright light coming in right through here, and then really dark on the sides. And you know, these are just reflections of the actual rail system that's sliding the head unit back and forth. And there you go, you can see it better there. Really just terrible when you're trying to, so this means I can't really bounce off of anything because it's going to show up unless I've got a diffuser on the front of the actual flash. And here's our robot again, high speed sync, straight on, and this time with the manual zoom again, same issues, just not good. Okay, so this is trying to bounce off the wall, or actually this is foam core on a board, and I was trying to bounce off the wall at 45 degrees, you know, being fairly close, because I like to sidelight my subjects. Well, you can see that my subject's actually still receiving light directly from the front of the flash, and then this is the diffraction off the side of the flash, and then the actual head unit would be somewhere over here, those other bars that we saw. And then it would be, the center unit would be
off the screen here. I mean, really just, well, you can actually see right here where the flash is pointing, I believe. No. What is that? I don't know what that is. I thought that was a flash, but it's not. Okay, so anyway. Same issue again. If I try to do a vertical, you would get this light streak right down the middle of it, which is real obvious. Not very good. Okay, so that's the patternation. Those are the issues with this flash. So, you know, if you own one of these flashes, do not take it off of auto zoom, whatever you do. Otherwise, you'll be highly disappointed.
That wasn't good at all. But realistically, you know, what's the final word on this? It's an elegant design. I really like the design of the flash. It just doesn't work the way that I want it to. The navigation of the back screen is terrible. The base is also designed like the flash, but it seems to be like it's bigger than the actual flash. So I'll never use that. You know, the fact that I lose high-speed sync when moving off of anywhere that I want to be is sad. The optical quality of this flash with the zoom head on auto is excellent. From picture to picture, the light is extremely consistent, the way that I would expect a Metz to be. But the second you start manual focusing the zoom, you lose all quality completely. It's just disastrous because of the design of this front plate. You know, and it suffers that way. But I wrote down some numbers here that you guys need to know about. Now, the Sony flashes, the reason why we hate Sony flashes, or I hate Sony flashes so much, is because of the recovery time from overheating and the fact that they're so damn thick, and again, the fact that we lose bounce lose high-speed sync every time you turn the head. So these suffer from the same issues, but the Sony hot shoe or Sony flash does a lot better in zoom mode, manual zoom, and does the things that the way you expect it to be. So I wrote down these numbers though, because when Sony's overheat, they take 10 minutes to recover. So realistically, at 1:1 with regular batteries in this flash, it takes 6 seconds between shots. And that's actually kind of slow. And 11 shots before it overheats, but the recovery time is 42 seconds. Now, at a quarter of a power with the same batteries, 3 seconds apart, and 25 shots, and then 25 seconds to recover, which is actually excellent. You know, the recovery time is really good if you have an overheating lock. The Young Nows don't have an overheating lock. You know, if you overuse it, you might blow it up, but I haven't blown up mine yet. They're fine. Anyway, with PowerX batteries, 2700 mAh, almost the strongest batteries that you could possibly get, you can get 25 flashes at 1:1 before they overheat. The times are the same. Now, this is where Metz gets really good. The second you go below a quarter power, you go to an eighth. Then the shooting is extremely consistent. The light is very perfect and it's accurate and it goes the way that you want it to if you're on auto zoom. No backlight on the LED panel to leave it on also drives me nuts because I like to see what I'm doing if it's dark behind the camera. And this one, you can't see the screen that well if it's dark in the room. It's non-existent. You know, you can't see it. If there's light, then obviously you can see what's going on there. But, you know, you cannot leave it backlit. So with that being said, I cannot recommend this flash to any professional or enthusiast out there. I just can't. To me, it seems like it's so underdeveloped. You know, like they kind of rushed it to manufacturing. That way they would have something new for the multi-hot shoe or the ISO hot shoe or whatever you want to call it. So, you know, I think that this on Metz's part is actually an epic fail. So with that being said, I hope you guys like this video. Give me a thumbs up if you do. a thumbs down if you don't. Apparently, you know, I get a lot of both. And go ahead and leave me a comment or a question. I'll definitely answer it. And we'll talk to you guys later. You have a good day.